What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Tuesday, April 15th. We're going to break down every MLB game on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and starters are confirmed. Yesterday, guys, not our best, unfortunately. Got off to a very good start. Had the Giants once again, and they come through for us once again. Had them at plus 100, a 10-4 win there, so we'll certainly take that. Unfortunately, the rest of the day was a little bit rough out there. Some weird stuff on a Monday, guys. We had the under in that Boston-Tampa Bay game and a 9-run third inning. Didn't really see that one coming. Kind of sunk the ship for us there. We had the Royals minus 115, fading Carrasco there, thinking Lugo would be good, and it was the opposite. Carrasco actually had a great start. Lugo was terrible, and yeah, the Royals, offense just continues to be bad. So we'll see how long it takes them to eventually turn that around. We had the Blue Jays at minus 110. Holmes went 7 2/3 innings, gave up only 3 hits, and Lucas got shelled. So annoying stuff out there on Monday for us, but we're going to try and bounce back here on Tuesday. Do me a big favor, slam that like button. It's free, helps me out a ton, shows your appreciation for the channel. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. It'll help keep you from missing our daily videos. Comment with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond. Quick reminder, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and to see the top confidence plays from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, guys, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years in a row, and it's off to a very solid start to the year, so definitely worth your while to check that out. Once you get over to StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks only posted there, free to use bet size calculators, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not always match what you see here in the video. You also need to sign up for our free email newsletter from Stump the Spread, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on our results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. If you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member each month. As we get more channel members, we'll be doing more and more giveaways. Also, members get their names up on screen just like right now. Guys, as always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. The Diamondbacks come into this game cruising. They just won 2 out of 3 there against the Milwaukee Brewers. They're up to 9-7 on the season, and seems like they've kind of shaken off that stretch where they lost 4 out of 5 there in a series against the Nationals and the Orioles and stuff like that. So they're on the right track. They're giving the ball in this one to Merrill Kelly, who's 2-1 to start his season. A 7.20 ERA. Obviously doesn't look great, but really all that came in one little start there against the Yankees, where he went 3 2/3 innings and gave up 9 earned runs. So other than that, bro has looked very good this season. A great start against the Cubs and a great start his last time out, or at least very good start his last time out against the Baltimore Orioles. So loving what we're seeing there, loving what we're seeing from the Arizona bullpen. They've been excellent so far here in the early goings, and the offense seems like it's coming around. They've scored 5-0, 9, and 4 runs over their last few games. We've seen a few guys get off to decent starts. Suarez is somebody who comes to mind for sure. This Diamondbacks team probably going to be one of the most dangerous offenses in the majors. They're 3rd in runs scored, 2nd in on-base percentage, and top 5 there in slugging percentage. So a lot of positives for the Diamondbacks as they go on the road to take on the Marlins here, who have actually won 3 out of their last 4. At 8-7 on the year, things are looking better than you would expect for the Marlins. They're hitting the ball in this one to Connor Gillespie, who's 0-1 to start his season, a 3.86 ERA. Doesn't look too bad at all. This is his 4th start, and yeah, he's faced the Mets already twice and looked decent in both outings against them. Not so great against the Pirates, but unfortunately for him, the Marlins have actually taken the loss in all 3 of those games. So he'll be hoping for a little bit more run support and to keep things going the way they've been going for him. The Marlins bullpen has gotten off to, I would say, a slightly better than expected start perhaps, but still not very good. A 4.50 bullpen ERA is not great. The offense has done some positive things. They're around MLB average in terms of runs scored, but the batting average numbers, the on-base percentage numbers are still looking pretty solid. Top 10 in the majors. So maybe that number can go up a little bit. Maybe they'll hang around here offensively, but I'm not holding my breath for the Marlins to have a good year. The odds makers love the Diamondbacks here. They're minus 166. The Marlins are plus 140. We've got a total of 8.5 out there. The Diamondbacks are 3-3 on the road, 7-6-3 to the under. Miami 6-4 at home, 9-6 to the over. I don't think I'm going to be on the over in this game, even though it's a Diamondbacks game, which makes sense. You would think about an over potentially, but I would lean more towards the under if anything. And I don't think I'm seeing another great start here from Gillespie. And even if he does pitch well, we're still going to get at least 3-ish, maybe 4-ish innings to hit off of that Miami bullpen. So give me the Diamondbacks here, even though it's minus 166. Next up, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Mariners 8-8 to start the year, but they've won their last 4 in a row, so that's got to feel pretty great. They just swept the Rangers, so things looking good there for the Mariners. They're hitting the ball in this one to Luis Castillo, who's 1-1 to start his season, a 2.12 ERA. Thanks to just being pretty lights out, to be honest, guys. A great start against the Athletics, a very good start against Detroit, and then a solid start there against Houston. 5 innings. He did give up 5 hits, but no runs allowed in that entire game. Walked 2 and struck out 6. So he's kind of picking up where he left off, at least at the beginning of the year last season. We'll see if he can keep things going here. I'm assuming the Seattle bullpen will continue to be very good. They're still top 5 in the majors now, a 3.05 bullpen ERA. No problems with that. The offense has been looking better. I mean, 3, 9, 5, and 7 runs over their last few games. They're up to 18th in the majors in runs scored. They are still 25th in batting average, though, so that's not great. But the on-base percentage is looking good, and there's some dudes hitting the ball out there. I mean, Cal Raleigh still already, he's got 5 home runs. He's only batting .220, so let's not freak out too much. But we're liking more of what we're seeing from their offense this season as opposed to last season. They're taking on the Cincinnati Reds, who are 8-8 to start their year. They just swept the Pirates, so that probably feels good, sweeping an NL Central opponent there. They're giving the ball to Nick Lodolo in this game, who's been lights out this season. Bro has been a monster. He's 2-1 on the year, a 0.96 ERA. His last start, he was lights out against the San Francisco Giants, a very hard-hitting team at the moment. We actually saw the Reds get the 1-0 win there, thanks in large part to Lodolo going 6 innings, giving up 3 hits and no runs. He hasn't given up an earned run over his last 2 games. It's been very, very good stuff from Lodolo here, and he's faced San Francisco twice and Milwaukee once. Not the easiest opponent. When he eventually comes out of the game, we love what we're seeing from the Reds bullpen as well. A 3.23 bullpen ERA is fantastic. So the positives just continue to mount here for the Cincinnati Reds pitching staff in general. The offense has been okay in that series against the Pirates. They scored 4, 5, and 5 runs respectively, so not awful. They're 17th in the majors in runs scored, a number that's headed in the right direction recently, despite their batting average and on-base percentage numbers as a team still looking real bad. So we'll see if they can figure things out there at the plate. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Mariners are -120, the Reds are +100. We've got a total of 8.5 out there. Seattle's 0-3 on the road, 8, 6, and 2 to the under. Cincinnati's 5-4 at home, 9, 6, and 1 to the under. 2 plays show up for me in this game. First up, I like the Reds at +100. That's a very good price with Nick Lodolo on the mound and this team playing at home where they've been decent for sure. They're playing well. I think there's plenty of reason right here to be looking at the Cincinnati Reds, but at least as much as I like the Reds at +100, I love the under 8.5 in this game. We've been hitting lots of unders here at the Great American Ballpark here in the early goings. I don't see any reason that's going to change in this game. 2 very solid starters, 2 very solid bullpens, and 2 very suspect offenses. I'm shocked to see this number any higher than 7.5. It's all the way up at 8.5. I will definitely take the under in this one. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Nationals come into this game losers of 4 out of their last 5. They're 6-10 on the season. Didn't have a great time yesterday against Skeens, eventually losing 10-3 in that one. They're hitting the ball to Jake Irvin, hoping he can, lead them to something of a bounce back. He hasn't yet figured in a result this season. A 5.63 ERA, nothing to brag about. He has faced quite the murderer's row of opponents this season. This poor dude has pitched against the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, and the Dodgers so far this season. He's given up 2, 4, and 4 earned runs over each of those games, and unfortunately for the Nationals, they've lost each of those 3 starts. So Jake Irvin, definitely looking for something positive. Those starts not necessarily his fault, but not necessarily not his fault. The Nationals bullpen has been one of the worst in the majors, and ERA close to 7 at this point is pretty embarrassing. The offense obviously not having a great time. They scored 3, 4, and 6 runs over their last 3 games, so not a disaster area necessarily. They're 12th in the majors in runs scored and 12th in the majors in batting average, but that's not enough to counterbalance a pitching staff that's having this much trouble. So we'll see what they look like here against the Pirates, who got that 10-3 win thanks in large part to Skeens being on the mound, but the offense came alive as well. They're 6-11 on the season, so not killing it. They're giving the ball in this one to Mitch Keller, who's 1-1 to start his year, a 4.24 ERA. His last start was by far his best start of the season. 7 1/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, 6 strikeouts and 1 walk against the Cardinals. In a game we saw the Pirates eventually win in extra innings, 2-1 in 13 innings. A crazy marathon game there. The game before that, he got shelled by the Yankees. Game to open his season against the Marlins, he looked pretty good. So we're kind of withholding judgment here on Keller. Maybe he can figure things out here and have a decent season. The Pirates' bullpen's been slightly above average, a 3.43 bullpen ERA. Nothing terrible, but also nothing great. The offense has been a problem, guys. They are dead last in team batting average. They are dead last in team slugging percentage, and they're 27th in the majors in runs scored. It's been pretty brutal. So we'll see if they can turn things around here at the plate against the Nationals. The odds makers like the Pirates here. The Nationals are +105. The Pirates are -125. We've got a total of 8.5. Washington 1-6 on the road, 11-5 to the over. The Pirates 4-3 at home, 8-8-1 to that over-under. This is a little bit of a tough spot. I would lean maybe a little bit towards the under. Neither offense is really impressing me that much, and I do think Jake Irvin could have a better time here against the Pirates than he's had against the murderer's row of opponents that he's faced so far. Mitch Keller's been throwing the ball pretty well recently also, so I think the under, super duper live in this one. If you're begging me for a side, I think give me the Pirates here at home, but no major lean on the side, more of a major lean towards the under. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Giants come in this game 12-4 on the season, cruising, winners of 4 out of their last 5. They just won game 1 of the series against the Phillies 10-4. They're hitting the ball in this one to Justin Verlander, who has not been having a great time here in his 42-year-old season. He's coming off a rough start against the Reds, 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them were earned. He did strike out 9, but also walked 3. It was an 8-6 win there for the Giants, so they'll take that, but he's not having a great time. He's eaten up some innings at least, but it's been a little bit rough for Verlander out there on the mound. Now, the bullpen for the Giants has been a big part of their early success. A 1.70 bullpen ERA is nuts. The offense has also been amazing, guys. Young Hoo Lee looking like a monster out there. Wilmer Flores looking like a monster. They're tied for 7th in the majors in runs scored. They're 20th in batting average, though, so maybe we could see those numbers regress here just a little bit, but we'll wait and see on that. They scored 10, 5, 4, 9, and 8 runs over the last few, so they bring some pretty hot bats here on the road as they take on the Phillies, who come into this one losers of 4 out of their last 5. That's been a little bit rough. We've got Bryce Harper doing gender reveals with what color bat he's using, like, maybe we try and win some games, guys. I mean, they're 9-7 on the year, so hasn't been a disaster. They're hitting the ball to Jesus Luzardo, who has been nothing bad about him this year. He's 2-0, a 1.50 ERA. He hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any start. He shut out the Dodgers over 7 innings a little while ago, and then his last time out went 6 innings, gave up a single earned run on 6 hits while striking out 6 against the Atlanta Braves in a game when the Phillies eventually lost 4-2. So he's looking good. That Phillies bullpen, though, is looking bad. A 4.65 bullpen ERA is a huge concern for this team. The offense also not doing what that Phillies offense is supposed to do, guys. I mean, 21st in the majors in runs scored, 18th in slugging percentage. Like, outside of Schwarber, the power numbers for this squad are not looking very good. So, looking at the numbers here, if it wasn't for this whole Justin Verlander on the mound thing, I would think that these would look quite different. But the Giants are plus 123. The Phillies are minus 148. We've got totals showing up out there of 8 or 8.5. The Giants are 8-2 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. They're 11-5 to the over. The Phillies are 5-2 at home, 11-5 to the under. This game feels like a coin flip or a stay away spot for me because while I like the starter matchup there for the Phillies, obviously with Luzardo being much better than Verlander, what is going to happen once the bullpens get involved here? That's very questionable. I think the Giants' bullpen is going to be amazing. I think the Phillies' bullpen has been terrible this season. So kind of a wash for me. I'm going to stay away from this one, generally speaking. If you're begging me for a side, I do feel like the Phillies are due for a win, and getting a win here against Verlander seems playable. So I guess take the Phillies, but not a game I'm interested in really at all. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Red Sox come into this game 8-10 on the season, fresh off a 16-1 loss there against Tampa Bay. Yeah, that was a game I thought we'd have a possibility to hit the under. I also really like the Tampa Bay Rays. I decided to go with the under in the pinned comment, and we get punished there with a crazy amount of offense there from Tampa Bay. The Red Sox going to be hitting the ball to Walker Buehler, hoping he can get them a little bit of a bounce back here. He's 1-1 on the year, a 5.74 ERA. His last start was his best start of the year by far. 6 1/3 innings, 4 hits, only a single earned run against the Blue Jays. But against St. Louis and against the Rangers, he struggled in both of those starts to open his year. So maybe Bro's figuring it out here. Definitely a possibility. Is the Red Sox bullpen figuring it out? A 4.20 bullpen ERA, and just what happened yesterday, kind of not indicating that they're figuring it out quite yet. The offense obviously scoring only a single run doesn't look good. They are 6th in the majors in runs scored and 9th in batting average, but they've got a couple big outlier games. That 18-run game and 13-run game against the Cardinals really will skew those numbers. So not happy with what I'm seeing from them offensively either. So they got to play better here against the Tampa Bay Rays, who have won 3 out of their last 4. They're up to 8-8 on the season. They're obviously coming off an insane offensive day. They're giving the ball to Ryan Pepio, hoping he can hold things down on the mound. He's 1-1 to start the year, a 3.38 ERA, and he's been solid this season. Solid, no doubt about it. I mean, he did give up 3 earned runs against the Angels his last time out, but other than that, he's really kept his team in the games, 6, 5, and 5 innings respectively. Now he hasn't faced the toughest teams facing the Rockies, Pirates, and Angels. So maybe Bro's in for some regression. We'll have to wait and see. But the bullpen has also been a little bit tough to figure out there for Tampa Bay. I mean, a 3.93 bullpen ERA is not great, but they're coming off a game where they only allowed 1 run. So maybe they're figuring things out. The offense obviously went nuts yesterday. This is a team that can get some hits, apparently. Like, they really were stacking them up. Pretty crazy stuff. We see guys like Arenado batting nearly 400 on the year. That's great. Brandon Lowe with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. That's cool. But this team, 18th in the majors in runs scored, a number that's going to take a huge jump as soon as that big old 16 spot gets added in there. But I haven't been thrilled with what I've seen from the Rays at the plate. Looking at the numbers for this game, Tampa Bay -130, the Red Sox +110. We've got totals out there of 8.5 or 9. Boston 4-7 on the road, 10-6-2 to the under. Tampa Bay 8-5 at home, 8-7-1 to the under. I think this is a spot we can conceivably back the under just based on both teams looking at some big regression from what we saw yesterday. I mean, obviously not. Boston only scored 1 run, but I don't think Tampa Bay is going to put up double-digit runs on back-to-back days. However, they've been swinging the bats a little bit better, so it's a little bit tough to tell. This is another one of those games that feels a bit coin flippy in terms of the side. I will be leaning just slightly towards the Rays here at home at -130, but no big lean there. I think you could take under 9 in this game, though. I think that's some value, but overall not a game that I have too much interest in. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. Cleveland comes into this game fresh off a 4-2 loss there in Game 3 against the Royals. That loss snapped a 5-game winning streak, which they definitely needed. They're 8-7 on the year, handing the ball to Logan Allen, who comes into this game looking for his first win. Still, he's 0-1, a 3.60 ERA. Coming off a very solid outing there against the White Sox. 4-2 their innings, 4 hits, no earned runs allowed, 1 run allowed. Pretty good stuff. He did get knocked around a bit by the Padres the game before that, so we're not ready to throw this guy a parade. It hasn't looked that good yet. Now, the Cleveland bullpen's looking excellent. A 2.25 bullpen ERA is kind of what we've come to expect from the Guardians. The offense has turned it on a bit. I mean, obviously only 2 runs in their last game, but 2, 6, 7, 6, and 3 runs over their last few. The two-headed monster, it's not really a monster. The two-headed, strong thing of Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez can do some stuff, but there's a reason this team is 23rd in the majors in runs scored and 19 in batting average. It hasn't been ideal, so we'll see what they do here on the road against the Orioles, who are off to a bad start. There's no way around it. They're 6-9 on the season. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. They just lost 1 out of 2 there against Toronto, with 1 game being postponed. They're giving the ball to Charlie Morton, who is struggling out of the gate, guys. This 41-year-old not having a great time, 0-3 and 8.78 ERA in the early returns, and he's given up at least 4 earned runs in each of his 3 starts to start the year. Now, he has faced some tough opponents, facing Toronto, Boston, and Arizona, so this should be a little bit of a step down for him. He should have a chance against these guys, but not loving what we're seeing from Uncle Charlie, not really hating what we're seeing from the Baltimore bullpen. A 3.58 bullpen ERA is okay, but we are definitely hating what we're seeing from this offense. It's not delivering the way it's expected to, at least. They're 13th in the majors in slugging percentage, 22nd in on-base percentage. They're 13th in runs scored. They've scored 6, 5, 0, 3, and 5 runs over their last few games. Where is the offensive juggernaut from last season? So we'll see what they can do here. The odds makers love them at -141. The Guardians are +120. We've got a total of 8.5. Cleveland 3-6 on the road, 8-7 to the under. Baltimore 2-3 at home, 9-5-1 to the over. I'm going to be leaning here just slightly towards the Baltimore Orioles. I haven't loved what we're seeing from Logan Allen out on the mound, so I think Baltimore, despite having Charlie Morton on the mound, is my lean. You could also definitely talk me into the over in this game. I think the Orioles are going to put up some runs. I don't think Cleveland's going to score 0 runs against Charlie Morton, who's given up at least 4 runs in each game this season. So yeah, I definitely think over 8.5 is super duper live in this game as well. Next on the schedule, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Royals 8-9 on the season. They got off to a rough start in this one. This series losing 4-1 there at Yankee Stadium, but yeah, I mean, giving up 3 home runs in the 5th inning will kind of do that to you. They're hitting the ball to Michael Wacha, hoping he can stem the tide. He's 0-2 to start the year, a 4.20 ERA, but he's coming off an excellent start, and 2 out of his 4 starts have been very, very good. A great start against Cleveland, great start against the Twins, and then so-so outing there against Baltimore, but he's looked very good. I don't have any problem with how Wacha's throwing the ball here out of the gate. Now, the Royals bullpen on the other side, I mean, I guess it's fine. A 3.69 bullpen ERA, nothing to freak out about, but I think we could hope for a little bit better from that bullpen. The real problem behind this entire slow start for the Royals has been the offense, or the lack thereof. They're 25th in the majors in runs scored, 28th in slugging percentage. Guys like Bobby Witt Jr. have gotten off to a slow start. Now he's starting to come around a little bit. He's got that batting average up to 317, but the power numbers are nowhere to be found. This Royals team needs to be swinging the bats a little bit better, and they're probably going to need to against the Yankees, who are 9-7 on the year. They haven't had the smoothest start themselves. They've had some injuries and all kinds of other setbacks, but yeah, they're hitting the ball to Max Fried, who has been having a great start. He's 2-0 to start the year, a 1.56 ERA. He hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any start. Now, he did have some weird stuff in that game against Milwaukee to open the year, but his last couple starts, 1 earned run over 5 2/3 innings at Pittsburgh, and then 5 hits, no earned runs, 11 strikeouts, and no walks in 7 innings there against the Pirates. So very, very good stuff. Now he's going to be pitching at Yankee Stadium for the first time since his season opening start, so we'll see what he does in this one. I'm expecting relatively good stuff. The Yankees bullpen's trending in the right direction as well, a 3.50 bullpen ERA. No problems there. The offense coming up with 4 runs in their last game probably feels nice. Goldschmidt's off to a good start. Aaron Judge off to a good start. The Yankees are 2nd in the majors in runs scored, 5th in the majors in batting average, top 5 as well in on-base percentage, and they're the highest slugging percentage team in the majors. So not too worried about that offense right now, and neither the odds makers. That's why the Yankees are minus 190. The Royals are plus 160. We've got a total of 8.5 out there. The Royals 2-5 on the road, 10-7 to the under. The Yankees 6-4 at home, 10-5-1 to the over. I think this is a pretty good spot to be on the Yankees now. Obviously, you'd be wanting to take a minus 1.5 to avoid that juice, probably, unless you're not bothered by a minus 190, then go for it. I could also wrap my head around potentially an over in this game. I think we'll see a good amount of offense, but I don't know, maybe not with how bad the Royals' offense has been this season. So probably just going to side with the Yankees and generally leave this game a little bit alone. Next up, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Braves come into this game 5-11 on the year. They did win game 1 of this series 8-4, so I'm sure that feels great. They're hitting the ball in this one to Spencer Schwellenbach, who's been dominant to start the year. 1-0, a 0.45 ERA. He has breezed through starts against teams like the Padres, Marlins, and the Phillies his last time out. The Phillies seemed like he was maybe a little fatigued. He went 8 innings there against the Marlins, then against the Phillies he goes 6 innings, 7 hits, only a single earned run. So could have been gotten a little bit there by the Phillies, but not so much. Bro pitches well once again, and you just love to see it, honestly. The 24-year-old just coming out there and looking great right out of the gate. So he's looking great. That Atlanta bullpen isn't quite up to the standard that they set for themselves a season ago. It's been a problem. A 4.50 bullpen ERA is not good enough, and the offense has also been very slow to start, guys. They're 29th in the majors in runs scored. Yeah, we see Ozuna going back to Atlanta for an MRI on his hip. That is not a great sign here for this team at the moment. They need him in there. He's the majority of their offense usually. So, yeah, that's a problem for sure here. Worried about them offensively, despite the fact they're coming off an 8-run game. The Blue Jays, on the other hand, at 9-8 to start the year. Seems like they're slowing down a little bit, losing 3 out of their last 4. They're having the ball to Kevin Gausman, who's 1-1 to start his year, a 2.33 ERA, so that looks nice, obviously. He's fresh off of a great outing there against Boston. 8 innings, 4 hits, only a single run allowed, and it was unearned. He struck out 10, walked 0. So very, very nice stuff in that one. He pitched really well. Now, he did go extended innings, pitching 8 innings. That's a lot, but I think he'll be okay out there. He is 34. I don't know. I worry a little bit about the extended innings for sure. I also worry a little bit about that Toronto bullpen, but it's been killing it lately. It's headed way back in the right direction. A 3.59 bullpen ERA now. Is that real? Is that going to continue forever? We'll just have to wait and see. It's still a little bit early to be, saying, oh, this is what this bullpen is. So we'll have to wait and see what the offense can do as well. I mean, they've scored 4-7, 4-3, and 2 runs over the last few games. George Springer off to a great start for sure. We'll see what they do down the stretch. I mean, they are 3rd in team batting average, but 16th in runs scored, like 19th in slugging percentage. So, yeah, I don't know. A little bit worrisome. We'll see what we get out of them in this game, guys. The Braves are minus 122. The Blue Jays are plus 110. We've got totals out there of 8 and 8.5. Atlanta's only 2-9 on the road. They're 7-2 to the over-under. Toronto 5-3 at home, 10-6-1 to the under. Guys, I think the fact that there's 8.5s out there still is a little bit wild. I know we're playing a lot of unders today, but I love under 8.5 in this spot. Obviously, I don't think Schwellenbach's going to give up much. Gausman, I do worry a little bit since he just pitched 8 innings, but I don't worry that much. I think under 8.5 is super live in this game. If you want to side, I think this is a road spot. I think we want to go with the Atlanta Braves on the road with Schwellenbach on the mound, despite Ozuna being gone. But Ozuna being gone is another one of the reasons why we like this under so much. So definitely give me under 8.5 in this game. Rapid fire through these games, guys. We're looking at the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Tigers 10-6 on the season. They've won 3 out of their last 4, so they're having a pretty good time, and they're handing the ball to Jack Flaherty in this game, who's 1-0 to start his year, a 1.62 ERA. I'm sure he's not too upset about that. He's been looking pretty good out there. He's fresh off a nice start against the Yankees. He went 5 1/3, gave up 3 hits, no runs in that game, struck out 9 and walked 3. Unfortunately for him, we do see the Tigers eventually take the loss, but he's been very, very good out there. Hasn't gone super deep into games, but it's not really his MO. He has been pitching very well, though. There's no doubt about that. We also, in terms of the bullpen situation here for Detroit, we don't love it. We don't hate it. A 3.93 bullpen ERA is serviceable, but not what they're hoping for. The offense, fresh off a 9-run outing there against Milwaukee in Game 1, has to feel great. Skubal looked good, and yeah, things looking very, very good out there. So they're hoping that guys like Torkelson can continue to hit the ball well. Kerry Carpenter's off to a decent start. They're all the way up to 11th in the majors in runs scored and 10th in batting average. Now, will that continue indefinitely? Maybe, but probably not. So we'll just have to wait and see what they do here in Game 2 against the Brewers, who are 8-9 on the year. They've lost 4 out of their last 5, so it seems like they're slowing down a bit. They're hitting the ball to Quinn Priester, who's gotten off to a decent start. He's only made 1 start, and it was at the Colorado Rockies, and he looked good out there. 5 innings, giving up only a single earned run. He did give up 6 hits, though, against the Rockies, who are one of the worst offensive teams in the majors at the moment. So that's a little bit problematic, and far more problematic than that has been that Brewers bullpen that's been atrocious to start the year. The offense has had its moments, but they've scored 1, 2, 4, 7, and 2 runs over the last few games. Churio's off to a good start. Charang's off to a good start, I guess. They're 5th in the majors in runs scored, but a lot of that's coming from some big outlier games, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they put up a 17 spot there against the Rockies. That'll definitely skew things a little bit for you. So looking at the numbers for this one, guys, you see the Brewers at plus 108, the Tigers at minus 125. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. Detroit's a 500 team on the road. They're 8-7-1 to the over. Milwaukee's 5-3 at home, 9-7-1 to the under. I think we see the Brewers' struggles continue here. Flaherty's a good pitcher. I like the bullpen here for the Tigers an awful lot more than I like it for the Milwaukee Brewers. Priester, I'm not buying into the Priester hype right now. Definitely give me the Tigers here at minus 125. It's one of my favorite sides of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Mets 11-5 to start the year, winners of 3 out of their last 4, including a 5-1 win here in Game 1 of this series. They're hitting the ball to Taylor Megill. He comes into this game 2-1 on the year, a 0.63 ERA. Bro's been dealing out there. He did give up a couple of unearned runs there against Miami his last time out, but dominant stuff against both Toronto and Houston to open his season. So not too worried about him. Not worried at all about this bullpen that's been one of the best in the majors. A 1.82 bullpen ERA is awesome. The offense is looking good. We've seen guys like Pete Alonso get off to insane starts to their year. They are only 18th in the majors in runs scored, though, so not exactly hitting the cover off the ball, despite scoring 5, 8, 1, 7, and 0 runs over their last few. So we'll see what they do here in Game 2 against the Twins, who are 5-12 to open their year. It's been a disaster for the Twins so far. They're giving the ball to Bailey Ober, who's 0-1 on his season, a 7.11 ERA. He's fresh off of back-to-back very good starts. So he got destroyed there by the Cardinals, but then against Houston, very playable. And then against the Royals, 6 innings, 5 hits, a single earned run in that game. So, yeah, this slow start has not been all his fault, that's for sure. Now the Twins bullpen, on the other hand, it hasn't been their fault either. The pitching staff looking okay. A 3.38 bullpen ERA is definitely acceptable. The offense, though, 24th in runs scored, 24th in slugging percentage as well. That's going to be a problem, guys, here. Not what you're hoping for. And in this game, the Twins are plus 100. The Mets are minus 113. We've got a totals of 8 or 8.5 showing out there. You can find both numbers. The Mets 5-4 on the road, 11-4 to the under. That's an MLB best to the under. Minnesota 2-4 at home, 8-6-2 to the under. Now, do we want to play an under 8.5 here? I think that's super live. I know it's another under, but this is the early part of the season, guys, and unders should be hitting. I know it hasn't been a huge under, trend here at the beginning of the season like we've seen some other years, but I definitely think under 8.5 is super live in this game. But we may just be loading it up on the Mets. Like Taylor Megill's looked really good, but I don't know. Bailey Ober's headed in the right direction too, so the under might actually be the better play on this game. And we've got those big trends here from the Mets, and a decent trend there from Minnesota to back that under trend. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Athletics going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Athletics have lost 3 out of their last 4. They're down to 6-10 on the year. Handing the ball to Jeffrey Spriggs, who's 2-1 to start his season, a 4.20 ERA. He was lights out in his opening game start there against Seattle, but since then it's fallen off a little bit against both the Cubs and the Padres. So those are some tough opponents. We'll see what he can do in this one. The Athletics bullpen hasn't been super helpful. A 5.19 bullpen ERA is a pretty big yikes. The offense obviously got shut out in their last game, losing 8-0 in their finale there against the Mets. We've seen Jacob Wilson get off to a good start. Tyler Sodersson's off to a very good start as well, but 14th in runs scored, 15th in on-base percentage. Nothing to write home about necessarily. They are taking on the White Sox, though, who are all the way down to 4-11 on the season. They did just win 2 out of 3 there against the Red Sox, so I'm sure that feels nice. They're giving the ball to Sean Burke, who's 1-2 on his season, a 6.08 ERA. He didn't have a great time against Cleveland his last time out, giving up 3 earned runs and a home run over only 3 innings of work. Start before that, he got shelled by the Twins, so you kind of see the direction this is heading, guys. It hasn't been ideal. Now, the White Sox bullpen's been much better here in the early goings. A 3.22 bullpen ERA is nice, but what do we really expect to see from this offense? Well, I think we're starting to get it, guys. They are 29th in the majors in slugging percentage, 28th in batting average, and 27th in runs scored. So not a good offensive team, not a good team in general, and that's why they're plus 140 here at home. The Athletics are minus 155. We've got totals of 8 or 8.5 out there. The Athletics are 4-3 on the road, 8-6-2 to the over. The White Sox 4-5 at home, 8-6-1 to the under. I'm just going to take the Athletics here, guys. There's no reason to be back in the White Sox in this spot. The price tag isn't amazing there on the Athletics, so this might not go in the pinned comment. We haven't loved what we're seeing from Jeffrey Spriggs either, so maybe this is a sneaky over 8 play, but really not going to get too involved. I don't trust either one of these teams at the moment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. We saw the Astros take the 8-3 loss in Game 1 of this series to fall to 7-9 on the year. Yeah, Nolan Arenado crushed that 7th inning home run there against the Astros. So yeah, that was a little bit rough. They're hitting the ball to Hunter Brown, hoping he can, kind of continue. It's been a very good start to his year. He's 1-1, a 2.00 ERA. Very good start there against Seattle his last time out. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed. It was eventually a 7-6 loss there for the Astros. Against the Twins, the start before that, very good stuff there as well. 6 innings, 2 earned runs on 5 hits, struck out 8 and walked 0. So you can see the control is on point for this young man right now. Hunter Brown throwing the ball very, very well at the moment. So you absolutely love to see it. Now, the bullpen also for Houston stepping up, a 3.23 bullpen ERA. Nothing wrong there, but the offense has been where the problems have arose. Jose Altuve slumping after a quick start. We've seen this team plummet all the way down to 21st in the majors in runs scored, 27th in slugging. They're batting .219 as a team. Just not a lot of positives going on for this offense at the moment. Now, can they turn it around? Maybe. But we had this kind of weird struggle all season last year for their offense as well. So we'll see what happens here against the Cardinals, who come into this game. They've battled all the way back to 8-8 on the year. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They're hitting the ball to Eric Feedy, who's 1-1 to start his season, a 4.20 ERA. But really, he's made 3 starts. 2 of them have been excellent. 1 of them has been terrible. Now, those good starts were against the Pirates and the Twins, so let's not overreact too much. And he walked 4 there against Pittsburgh his last time out. 6 innings of no-hit ball, though. Probably feels pretty good. Kind of sucks to get pulled from that game, but you're not getting, just the idea of getting stretched all the way out to try and throw a no-hitter for some ungodly amount of pitches here in the first month, basically month of the season, not even, is probably not a great idea. So we'll see what he can do out there. I'm expecting good stuff. We'll see what that Cardinals bullpen can do. I'm expecting pretty mediocre stuff there, though. A 4.65 bullpen ERA. Not going to work. Now, the offense has been killing it. Brendan Donovan, bro's batting almost 400 here in the early goings. That is crazy work. The Cardinals are 3rd in the majors in runs scored, 2nd in batting average, and there aren't a whole ton of big outlier games. They put up a 12 spot against the Angels at one point, but other than that, no other double-digit games. They've just been hitting the ball really, really well consistently this season. So maybe things are turning around for the Cardinals, who are plus 105 in this game. The Astros are minus 122. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. Houston 3-3 on the road, 7-6-2 to the under. The Cardinals 6-3 at home, 9-5-1 to the over. I'm going to be leaning here just a little bit towards the Cardinals. I think Eric Feedy, at least as good as Hunter Brown. The Cardinals are at home in this one. They've been swinging the bats way better. So that's a big plus. Now, I do worry about the Cardinals bullpen. That's probably going to keep this play out of the pinned comment, but getting a plus 105 in there is appealing. So I'd be lying if I said it didn't have a chance. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Texas Rangers. The Angels 9-6 to start the year, but they've gone 2-2 over their last 4 games. Not ideal. They're hitting the ball to Yusei Kikuchi. My boy, not having the greatest time out of the gates. He's 0-2, a 5.00 ERA. He just hasn't looked that sharp. A bad start against the White Sox of all teams. Not great start against the Cardinals. Not terrible. 3 earned runs over 6 innings is playable, but he walked 5 in that outing. And then his last time out, it was at Tampa Bay. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, and a 5-4 loss there for the Angels. So Kikuchi, not off to the hottest start. Now, the Angels' bullpen historically has been their Achilles heel, or at least the last couple seasons, and that has not changed this year. A 6.29 bullpen ERA is obviously really weighing them down. The offense has done some stuff this year, though. Logan O'Hoppe off to a good start. Mike Trout, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs. Bro's batting under 200, though. That's a bit odd, but top 7 in the majors in runs scored, top 2 in the majors in slugging percentage, but these are probably not numbers that are sustainable here for these Angels. So we'll see what they do here against the Rangers, who are 9-7 on the year. They just got swept there at Seattle, so that probably feels pretty freaking bad. They're hitting the ball in this one to Patrick Corbin, hoping he can turn things around for them, but he got to turn things around for himself first. I mean, he hasn't figured in results, sporting a 6.75 ERA after only making his first start of the year, and he got knocked around aggressively by the Cubs. 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, including a home run. He walked 2 and struck out 0. So gonna need to see him turn things around here a little bit. Not looking great for the 35-year-old lefty. Now, I'm not saying Bro's got nothing left in the tank, but he's going to have to be better, and so is that Rangers bullpen. A 4.37 bullpen ERA, certainly not helpful. The offense has been a big part of this struggle as well. 26th in the majors in runs scored, 26th also in batting average, and dead last in on-base percentage. Nobody off to a particularly hot start. They scored 1, 2, and 3 runs over their last few games. Brutal stuff there. So I'm honestly a little bit surprised to see the Rangers as minus 118 favorites. They are playing at home. The Angels are plus 105 here. We've got a total of 8.5. The Angels are 7-5 on the road, so an above 500 road team. They're 10-5 to the over. The Rangers are 6-1 at home, though. They've been very good at home. They're 9-7 to the under. I'm leaning a little bit towards the Angels at plus 105, guys. I don't know. Maybe you don't love it. Maybe I don't even love it, but I might be getting sucked in here and backing Yusei Kikuchi one more time. Plus 105 seems very, very reasonable. What can I say? So give me the Angels as a small lean in this one against those struggling Texas Rangers. Rounding into the home stretch here, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs. They're headed on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. These two teams are actually playing right now. They're in the top of the ninth. So this game is basically over because the Padres are up 10-4 there over the Cubs. So yeah, looks like a bad start to the series for the Cubs. They're handing the ball in this one to Shota Imanaga, who's 2-1 to start his year, a 2.70 ERA. His last start, though, was not good. His worst start by far. Had just a bad time against the Rangers. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, gave up a couple of home runs in that game also. So a bounce back spot for him for sure. A guy who I definitely think is capable of bouncing back. Now, what we get out of that Cubs bullpen, that's a much bigger question. A 4.28 bullpen ERA is not good. The offense, obviously coming off a game where it looks like they're going to have scored 4, maybe 5 runs. We'll see if they can push another one across. Has looked excellent. They're actually first in the majors in runs scored, 4th in on-base percentage, 6th in batting average. We see guys like Kyle Tucker off to fantastic starts to the year. Now, will that translate here against the Padres? We'll have to see. Obviously, it looks like the Padres are coming off another win, which will have them all the way up to 5 in a row and 7 out of their last 8. So that's pretty nice. Handing the ball in this one to Randy Vasquez, who is 1-1 to start his season, a 1.72 ERA. 3 very good starts, including a decent, maybe not elite, but decent start against the Cubs. We went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them are earned, walked 5, and struck out 2. So he can definitely be a little bit better than he was in that one, I'll say. The bullpen for the Padres has been insanely good, though. A 1.51 bullpen ERA. That's crazy work, guys. They're not going to be able to keep that up forever, but they're keeping it up for now. We see guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. off to great starts at the plate. This team is 10th in the majors in runs scored, 1st in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage. They've obviously scored 10 runs in their current game, 10, 6, 2, 8, and 2 runs over their last few. So loving what we're seeing from the Padres, who are plus 116 in this game. The Cubs are minus 135, thanks to having Imanaga on the mound. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. The Cubs 7-3 on the road. Looks like it's going to be 7-4. 12-5-1 to the over. That's an MLB best to the over. San Diego 10-0 at home. That's wild stuff, guys. A very hot start at home. Looks like they're going to be 11-0 at home, and they are 8-7-1 to the under. I'm going to be leaning a little bit towards the over, if anything, despite liking both of these pitchers. Both these offenses are red hot. I think we have to just take the Padres here at plus 116, though. I know Imanaga on the mound looks good, but the Cubs offense seems like it's due to cool off to me. The Padres, maybe not so much, and the Padres bullpen has been so good. We love it if they can go into the late innings with a 1-run lead. I think they'll be fine. So definitely take a good hard look at the Padres, especially since they're plus 116 playing at home. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. The Rockies come into this game looking like it's probably going to be a loss, but they're keeping things competitive. I mean, they're down 5-3 against the Dodgers there in the bottom of the 8th inning. They're giving the ball to Ryan Feltner in this one, who has had a pretty good start to his year, to be honest. I mean, a decent start there against Tampa Bay, a mediocre start against the Athletics, but then his last time out, very good against the Brewers. 6 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run, walked 2 and struck out 7. Now, he's got to go against the Dodgers in this one, a much different test, but overall, I don't think we should be too upset about the way he's throwing the ball. Now, those Colorado Rockies out of the bullpen, a whole different scenario, an ERA of around 6. So that's looking real bad, just like it looked last season. Unfortunately for the Rockies, the offense hasn't exactly picked up the slack either. They're dead last in runs scored and 25th in both slugging and on-base percentage. So not looking great here as they take on the Dodgers, who haven't been having the easiest time necessarily. They're handing the ball in this one to Logan Knack, who's 1-0 to start the year despite a 10.38 ERA. He's been making his second start, third appearance overall. He faced the Cubs and looked good out of the bullpen, but then faced the Nationals as a starter and got shelled. So that's not looking great. Can't say Logan Knack looking amazing here in the early going. So we'll see what he does. We'll see what the bullpen does for the Dodgers. It hasn't been incredible either. A 4.01 bullpen ERA here in the early goings is definitely something of a problem. Now, the offense is going to be elite, guys. They're top 10 in runs scored despite being 18th in batting average and 19th there in on-base percentage. But we see guys like Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman off to decent starts to the year. Will that continue and translate into wins? Well, we'll see, guys. The odds maker sure think so. The Dodgers are minus 335. Yeah, you heard that right. 335. The Rockies are plus 270. We've got a total of 8.5 out there. Colorado's only 1-8 on the road, 9-5-1 to the under. The Dodgers 7-2 at home, 10-7 to the over. I can't justify backing the Dodgers at minus 335. It's just too crazy, especially with Knack on the mound. I think there's a chance the Rockies win this game straight up. I'm probably not going to have the guts to put the Rockies at plus 270 in the pinned comment because I know you guys are going to freak out and you're going to put in all of your parlays and then lose and get upset. But I really think the value on this game, once again, I don't think anybody deserves to be a 3-1 favorite in the major leagues right now. So give me the Rockies here, plus 270 as a small lean. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Click that link in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com. See everything we offer over there. Tons and tons of great information, especially if you get on that email list, which is absolutely free. Thanks for watching. Get those comments in there down below, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.